Welcome to Aphra's Artifacts, where we do some archaeology of our own and dig into the queer side of Star Wars. I'm your host, Alia Morgaine, and it's so great to have you here. Well, today we're continuing our discussion of the Backup Plan by Anne Toole from the From a Certain Point of View, Empire Strikes Back anthology of 40 short stories. And again, this short story takes place on Cloud City a couple days after Lando has left. The Empire's taken over. There are miners that are being shipped off to who knows where for the Empire to work for the Empire. And just to recap the story, Tal Veridian and two of her friends, Baldu and Chiron, and there will be a video next week on Chiron because Chiron is a non-binary and non-human character. So the three of them get mixed up. They go undercover as part of the mining guild, and then they get mixed up and everything and end up on a ship that's about to be blown up by Ela Radodan, Tal Veridian's lover. And Ela ends up surreptitiously blowing up some Tabana gas tanks instead of the actual ship. And Kilos, her superior officer, believes that Ela has actually blown up the ship. And it's all good in the end, and everyone is saved. So today I wanted to talk about Tal and Ela's relationship. So it's hinted at early on in the story when Tal says, "Let's just say I pumped my Imperial source for information last night. The intel is good." So, that is a very literal quote from her, and you don't know how literal it is until later on in the story when you discover that yes, in fact, Tal and Ela are lovers, that they are in a relationship. And when they first see each other in the story, the narrative says, Tal lost her train of thought seeing her, remembering many stolen nights. Last night, most of all. She loved watching her lover pull down that bun, letting the hair cascade around her as Tal pulled her close. And I love this because it shows that Ela can be very vulnerable. We saw 2 weeks ago that Ela is very intense, very intimidating. She has a severe bun pulling her hair back. So the fact that she's willing to undo that bun, let her hair down, be vulnerable with Tal is a testament to their relationship with each other. And at the end of the story, Ela says to Tal, "You're the sexiest rebel scum this side of Corellia." So that's another layer to Ela, that she's not a staunch Imperial, a true believer. She realizes there are issues with the Empire, and she's not willing to go whole hog into defending the Empire and everything they do. That she is willing, and you see that in the story because she helps save the miners from an uncertain future. But she is much more of a real, dynamic, complicated person. And I really like that. And then at the very end of the story, they're talking with each other over holocom. Talks about blue lights and how they're seeing each other in blue digitalness. And it says, Ela pulled her hair down, letting it fall down her shoulders. "Are you alone?" Tal failed to suppress a grin. Ela leaned down, beginning to slowly undo her boots, knowing she had Tal's attention. "Ela?" "Yes." "Leave the boots on this time." What are they going to be doing over holocom? So that's really, I love that. And it is very relevant to my past because I was once in a relationship with someone who lived on a completely different continent. And so most of our time spent with each other was through Skype. So I think this is pretty cool, that they're having this sort of long distance over holocom. They're still together, even though they're apart. I love that. They seem to have a pretty solid thing going between them. So comment down below on what you think about this relationship, what you think about this Imperial and Rebel together. what you think about the complexity of Ela Radodan, the Imperial, and yeah, I'd love to know how these characters make you feel. So remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at Alia Morgaine, and peruse my blog at thestarsreview.blogspot.com. Come back next week for a video on Chiron, the non-binary character in this story who is friends with Tal Veridian, the rebel-adjacent lesbian second-in-command to Lando Calrissian. May the Force be with you.